Ladies and gentlemen, our favorite pet animal, my biggest fan, Triggered Senpai, aka Triggy Somali, has come out with another video claiming that Takopi's original sin is overdramatic slop. What did he rate this? 6.5 out of 10. He doesn't like the execution of it. And if you don't know about the context behind why I am reacting to this, basically, if you look at Triggered Senpai, his post recently, this is a channel that basically makes rage bait content over and over again. Like, every single video is trash, trash, trash. This is the only way he gets views, right? Pick something that is really popular and shit on it in order to farm the negative engagement, because that's his extent as, you know, making content. And I reacted to his ReZero is trash back in the day. And oh man, did that cause a nuclear outfall. He lived up to his name. I countered every single point in this video where, again, I sat through his video for 44 minutes, giving the most honest, genuine counter to everything in a logical way. And a lot of people here, if you read the comments, are very reasonable people that understand where I'm coming from. Little Triggy Somali then went live on a stream as he does. And he basically gets stun locked at the 5-minute mark because I call him stupid for his takes. And the entirety of this video, and don't hate It's a Boy, he's simply documenting the live streams that he hides because he's ashamed of the stuff that he says live. He basically, just look at the comments, right? He couldn't counter anything that I said talking about the topic, so he resulted in making personal insult, you know, being racist and all that. So that's kind of where this, like, internet history beef comes from. It's really funny because this is the most unserious, you know, drama. Bunch of grown-ass men arguing about fucking anime. But this is something you need to understand before going into it. And throughout the last week or so, if you look at the posts, the reason I call him my biggest fan is he's obsessed. He is so obsessed with me. He makes custom thumbnails of me. He basically went live trying to, like, basically what he did is this is the scene. 6.5 out of 10. Now, I was gonna leave this alone, but he tagged me specifically a while back saying, hey man, your reaction content is over, without even realizing that his own post that's screenshotted has literal updated information. Like, it's a community post saying, hey man, reaction content is over, y'all are cooked. And then there's literal in the screenshot saying, this has been happening for a long time, so I need you to understand the level of intelligence we're working with. It is like 2-digit IQ, like some actual animal stuff. And then I called him disingenuous for this take, and throughout the last week, he's been going live having group therapy sessions with his, you know, his quote-unquote fans, going live and then making basically personal insult and harassment about me. And because he broke the YouTube TOS, this is the reason I call him Triggy Somali. He literally goes live for specific, like, he loves me so much, he's so obsessed. All he does is talk about me in his live streams, but he is racist when he does it. And due to the personal attacks, it got removed for breaking TOS. Then he documents it live. He documents it live, and it's actually so funny that, like, this is why I call him Triggy Somali, like Johnny Somali. He gets a warning for breaking the TOS, documents himself saying, I'm gonna go live again and do it again. This time he hid the live for whatever reason. He had it up public for a bit, but he hid it again. Anyways, this is the background information you guys need to know about, okay? And now we're here. 3 hours ago. Please let me know when that 40-year-old lolly-loving weeb reacts to my Takopi's original sin video. Say something now at Kaka TV. You started all this drama over a community post. Go react to my in-depth post video so I can watch you scramble and cry like a bitch. Don't try to duck like you did on my second ReZero video. You gotta pay me at this point for me to watch your videos, man. I am helping this struggling content creator so much. And the reason why he calls me 40 years old, by the way, and I need you to understand before we watch this video, because I'm trying to paint a picture of what kind of zoo animal he is. Basically, his brother went on Google and tried to search my real name and age in order to dox me. And while doing so, he found a website. You ousted yourself as being an unk, but believes anything you see on the internet. Did high school not teach you to fact check? There's this website here. And we actually made a video about this. I made this video saying Kaka TV's real age and name leaked. And in this video, we basically go over little Triggy Somali embarrassing himself as usual in this website where anyone can edit the names and the age. My name is Nolan Gregory Kate. You see that, guys? The most Asian name possible. Nolan Gregory Crate. And I'm apparently 41 years old. And it's crazy because in this website, you can literally edit it all you want. Here I show you that I can edit it as being Monkey King. I checked the website again recently to see if it updated recently, if anyone did it. My name is now Sun Wukong, and I have de-aged 2 years. Now I'm 39 years old. This is the level of intelligence we're working with. He actually thought that I was 41. He leaks his own age. This motherfucker actually pushing 30. And I'm not trying to say or shame, I'm not trying to like shame 30-year-old people, okay? But I need you to understand, this is a grown-ass man, 30 years old, that is actually believing this shit online. And it is unreal. It is actually unreal. And now that I painted the full picture of what kind of zoo animal little Triggy Somali is, a racist piece of shit who publicly documents him live, saying he's gonna break the TOS, someone who takes no accountability and constantly cries and complains. Now he's begging. He's begging me to watch the Takopi video. And you know what? I was not gonna do this for your own sake. Genuinely. I wasn't gonna react to this for his own sake, because if I did, I feel like throughout the next 3 weeks, he's gonna go live and have his personal group therapy sessions with this, community and saying how much I hurt his feelings. But if you're gonna beg for it, I think this is a humiliation kink at this point. I think this man is straight up so obsessed with being like whipped by me, straight up, like some BDSM kink. He's a masochist who wants to be humiliated and punished publicly. And here we are. Let's go in. Let's try to give the most objective opinion. Objective opinion is crazy. Let's go into this with an open mind and see what he believes about this masterpiece of an anime, okay?
Takopi's Original Sin is one of, if not the most hyped up anime to come out in the year 2025.
True.
With almost every part of the anime community calling it a masterpiece and saying it's anime of the year.
Why does he talk like a fucking robot? Holy shit, bro's tempo is so slow. Let me increase this by 1.5.
And usually I don't pay the anime community any mind when they give a series this much praise, because in most cases they say everything is good. But
no, you say everything is bad. Your entire fucking channel is popular thing is trash, and then you grift in order for engagements. That's it. The anime community doesn't say everything is peak. What other anime is peak right now? Only shows that actually deserves that title, people brigade and say it's actually deserving of it. Like, the anime community is not a monolith, unlike you, who only shits on things.
After hearing the premise of Takopi's Original Sin, it caught my interest. I'm a huge fan of grounded stories that translate well to real life, mainly because of how relatable the subjects are and how easily the lessons can be applied to real life. And after watching Takopi's Original Sin, I can confirm the series is exactly that. Takopi's Original Sin tackles a lot of themes that I would say the majority of people can relate to. Bullying, manipulation, neglection, child abuse. The subject matter is there for those who are interested in these type of topics being worked out. But the execution of these topics leave a lot to be desired. Takopi's Original Sin is...
His issue is with the execution of these themes. Child abuse, bullying, neglect. Yeah, for sure. Execution in terms of, I guess, delivering those story points, which is a funny take to say because isn't this show like masterful in delivering these issues that is so, like, I guess, taboo? The way that this anime was able to deliver in 6 episodes such a concise and impactful story about the themes of story, child neglect, right? Basically, the theme of this story is kids have potential to be monsters, but also have the potential to be good. And it depends on if they have the right type of guidance and role models growing up. And the way that this show is able to portray that by giving the most exaggerated versions of adults not being present in children's lives, children, them being the victim of the bullshit of the parents, and them lashing out at other children because that's the only thing that can target. And to portray that, wasn't it masterful execution? I think it was.
Execution of these topics leave a lot to be desired. Takopi's Original Sin is a perfect example of a story having strong messaging but poor execution.
Let's hear about it.
Poor execution stems from how goofy, unrealistic, and overdramatic the setting is. The first thing that caught my attention when watching the show was the convenient absence of adults when bullying was taking place.
That's the entire point. Hold up. His problem with this is because this is fiction where they're trying to give an exaggerated story about real themes in order to send a message. This is not a real life documentary. This is anime. Now, I don't know if he understands this concept, which should be the most common sense, right? When you're watching anime, you're not supposed to expect realistic, real life, one-to-one life documentary shit. It's supposed to take something and then exaggerate it by creating this insane instance chamber where parents are all gone. It's unfair and Shizuka gets bullied like crazy, right? Marina literally gets away with everything because the adults are always on her side. Conveniently, they're not even there when Marina's, lashing out at Shizuka. And as soon as Shizuka fights back or something, Chappie was doing something, the parents show up, right? Remember that? It's supposed to be unfair. It's supposed to be unrealistic. It's supposed to exaggerate, again, living such actual real things and take it to a 12 out of 10 to send you an impactful message. That is the point of fiction. Does he not realize there's a fucking talking octopus in this show? Or time travel? I'm kind of confused at this take of, I don't like the execution because the parents are never there, because that's the entire fucking method of storytelling in which the author again is trying to exaggerate this.
The setting is. The first thing that caught my attention when watching the show was the convenient absence of adults when bullying was taking place in public areas. How is it that whenever Shizuka gets bullied, no adults are...
Literally the exact example I made. Again, I warned you, right? I warned you going into this video what kind of person this is. Is this a lack of media comprehension to the next level? It's actually baffling to me that this is his complaint. That the show is doing what it's trying to do. It's specifically trying to tell an exaggerated story of adults being absent and being shitty in order to show what child abuse is like. Again, this is not a one-to-one real life documentary where things are supposed to be realistic. That's crazy.
Around to address the issue, but when Marina gets bit by a dog, all of a sudden everybody and their grandma is there to see the assault.
That's the entire point! To show him, to show how unfair and how one-sided this is. That is the entire point the author is trying to do. It's not supposed to be realistic. It's not supposed to be fair. That's gotta be rage baiting. Nah, he gotta be rage baiting at this point. So this is the thing that I constantly wonder about little Triggy Somali. Do you think he's actually retarded? Or do you think that he's aware of what he's doing and he's rage baiting? I would hope that he is aware of what he's doing because no. I would hope that he's actually retarded because if you're just that stupid and don't understand the point of these shows, fiction, entertainment, media, not supposed to be real life documentary, then okay, you're just unaware, you're ignorant, and I think that, you should take some accountability and say, okay, I'll educate myself. But if you do know what you're doing in a malicious way, then you're grifting at that point, right? I mean, considering all he's done throughout the past, how many months of crying and, lashing out about how I hurt his feelings and basically using racism as a shield, I just think he is a disingenuous fucking grifter, that he is aware and that he intentionally just acts retarded in order to rage bait for views.
There weren't even people around before the dog bit her. The motherfuckers just magically showed up out of nowhere. Why the hell was Marina even out that late? With Shizuka, I can understand
because she's camping. She wants revenge against Shizuka. The entire point of that episode was Marina realizing Shizuka's what was it? Doing better because Takopi's around and she's more cheerful. And Marina was I don't like this. You don't need to be happy. So she's camped her. You're upset that a girl that wanted to bully her spent this is the same thing as you fucking camping the community post and basically trying to stalk me. You're doing the same shit.
Because she basically have no parents that care for her. But Marina, she has parents that care for her. To the point they were battling for custody during their divorce. Do her parents not care anymore? If so, they did a horrible job relaying that message. And how the hell...
What does Marina's parents caring for her have to do with her being outside?
Have no parents that care for her. But Marina...
Basically, if you have caring parents, children can't be out at 6 p.m. at night. Shizuka can be outside after school because she got nothing to do and doesn't want to go home. But Marina can't be outside because, listen, also, this is a terrible fucking understanding of the home situation of Marina. The parents do care about her more than Shizuka's parents do. But it's a very broken family where the dad is out cheating and the mom is stuck at home. And it's a terrible fucking situation where they are so emotionally distant. Marina being outside late at night at that time would harbor literally no punishment because the family house is already broken. Like, both their family house is broken. This is not like an elite, like, pampered, perfect, wholesome family where it's like, oh, you were out this late, you can't be doing that. No. It's a fucking broken household there too.
She has parents that care for her, to the point they were battling for custody during their divorce. Do her parents not care anymore? Like, if so, they did a horrible job relaying that message. And how the hell were there not any adults or kids around when Marina beat and stabbed Shizuka in the face?
Motherfucker, there's a talking octopus that can time travel! You're again, this is just so disingenuous or retarded. How does he possibly think this is a valid criticism that the fucking anime in which it's trying to exaggerate child abuse bullying is exaggerating child abuse and bullying? The adults are not supposed to be around. The teacher literally sees Shizuka's desk saying kill, die, I hate you, right? Literally, like, end yourself. The teacher doesn't care either because the teacher is so disconnected and doesn't want to be part of anything. It's supposed to show you, again, the most exaggerated environment of child abuse and adults being absent. That is the entire point that the author is doing. The author is not, like, the author is not writing this and accidentally forgetting, oh no, I forgot the parents exist. No, that is the entire point of the anime.
Outside of a school. How the fuck did none of the teachers or janitors see that shit that was written on Shizuka's desk? It literally
what I just brought up, right? The class is not supposed to care. It's supposed to be the most exaggerated instance of child abuse and bullying. The teacher does not give a fuck. You saw her face. She's looking down. She does not care. She probably has some issues of her own. And that's the entire point of the story.
He says, die. Why are the teachers so nonchalant about bullying and Shizuka's living conditions? Any adult with common sense would immediately get the police involved. Shit, I can remember a time in my school where a teacher called the kids' parents to come pick them up just because they smelled really bad. And that was way before 2016, which is where the earlier parts of this story takes place.
But again, that's real life. An anime is not supposed to be real life. An anime is supposed to take themes of real life and exaggerate it in ridiculous ways to send such a more impactful message. This is not a real life documentary of bullying. And if you don't understand this concept, like, this is a fucking waste of time.
How were there not any police patrolling the restricted area where Marina died? How the hell did Shizuka get to Tokyo with no parental guidance?
Restricted zone police? That was an excavation site, and eventually, like, the bodies got discovered by the excavation. What are you talking about? Why would the cops just be there? Like, that was an area where they're like doing like landmark research, right? And then they dug up the body and then the cops were called. Like, what is this take?
Not any police patrolling the restricted area where Marina died. How the hell did Shizuka get to Tokyo with no parental guidance?
Because there was an entire episode leading into Azuma planning in his diary of how to get to Tokyo. Then she literally onboarded. Again, this flower means that Takopi is manipulating reality, and basically no one even sees both of them. They can get smuggled on. Like, did he even watch the show? I'm confused. Is he rage baiting or not?
Shizuka get to Tokyo with no parental guidance. There are so many moments where adults are conveniently nonchalant or not around for the sake of misery porn.
Again, that is the whole point. Like, you acknowledge it right here. They are conveniently not there in order to glorify this misery because they're trying to exaggerate this.
Or the plot progressing, and it's really annoying because these are moments where an adult should be aware and present. Like, I understand the author is trying to convey a message with these scenes, but the message doesn't hit the same when you have to create unrealistic or inconsistent circumstances.
Again, that's your personal opinion, which is totally fine, but to think that like this does not, like using extreme or unrealistic circumstances to convey a message can completely ruin the story's immersion, I would argue against that. I think that I was the most immersed into this show because of the amazing cinematography and the direction of how they're able to elevate these themes of child abuse and bullying and parental neglect into this anime medium, in which again it's taking it from like, I don't know, like a 7 out of 10 exaggeration to like a 12 out of 10. That's the entire point. If you personally can't be immersed because it is so exaggerated, that's totally fine, right? It's a subjective opinion to have. But to expect that onto others who clearly were so immersed and understood more of it because it was such an isolated and exaggerated instance, again, like, this doesn't mean that it's bad. It's bad for you personally, but for others, they loved it.
To get your point across, you can still convey a strong message about bullying with adults being more proactive in the story. Literally every adult in the story is only there to cause or add to the kid's trauma. And
yes, literally, because they're also broken people too, right? Shizuka's family hold, dad is out, dad is basically left the mom because the mom's a crazy ass bitch and mom is working as an escort. Marina's family, dad's cheating with Marina's mom, and the mom is also so broken and feels hopeless and uses, you know, Marina as like a tool of violence as well too, as she lashes out on her. But it's like a very twisted thing of like, you're on my side, right? You're not with daddy's side, right? And Azuma's parents, an elite family of doctors who expects like the top of the top, most like elite, you know, result ever because a doctor can't fuck up. And for the constant like rivalry between the big brother and the little brother, even though the little brother is doing good enough, yet the mom still shuns her. That's the entire point, to show you that all these families are broken and the parents are so shit and the kids are the victims of it, and how the kids behave. Now you see why they became monsters.
Get it, that's the point of the story, but when there aren't even 1 or 2 adults who can have a positive impact to balance out the caring and non-caring ones, it makes the story set and feel forced, like everything is happening for the sake of creating a traumatic moment.
That's the entire point! And that is the most... This is the thing. He's so close. He's so close, but he just doesn't get it. Like, he goes to, like, a McDonald's, and he buys a hamburger, and then he eats it, and he's like, well, I feel like this hamburger should have been a salad. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know about this fucking hamburger, man. Where's my salad? But it's like, what did you expect going into this? This is anime, this is fiction, this is not a real life documentary. You don't even understand the purpose of the medium that you're watching, and your only criticism is that it's doing what the author was intending to do. If you are gonna use a realistic example, then what about the fucking talking octopus? There's a literal talking octopus time traveling. Oh, suddenly it's so unrealistic, it's so exaggerated, it breaks my immersion. What are we doing here? Like, do you not understand this concept?
And just to clarify, I'm specifically referring to the adults in this story. I'm not saying no one tries to help the kids, because there are definitely moments where some characters step in to help. What I'm pointing out is the unrealistic structure of the story, where adults who should be more involved and responsible are noticeably absent and passive.
Again, the entire point. That is this show is not supposed to be a redemption for the adults. This show clearly has no intention of having the parents have development and realize, oh, we were bad, we should have taken care of the kids better. No. The parents literally only exist to be shitty so that we can see exactly what happens to these kids and how they behave.
The lack of adult intervention feels inconsistent with how things will likely unfold in real life, which leads me to the next issue I have.
This is not real life. This is a fucking anime. There's a talking octopus.
Lack of adult intervention feels inconsistent with how things will likely unfold in real life, which leads me to the next issue I have with the story. The exaggeration of the traumatic sequences. I didn't have an issue with Marina bullying Shizuka because bullying exists. Actually, the way the story handled the subject of bullying as far as what causes it and how it can affect someone mentally was really good for the most part.
Okay.
But was Marina stabbing Shizuka in the face with a mechanical pencil really necessary? What 9-year-old is out here trying to stab another 9-year-old because their father is sleeping with their mother?
What 12-year-old is fighting fucking demons in order to save their world in Demon Slayer? What 14-year-old kid is fighting against ninjas to become Hokage in the real, like... I just... Again. They're trying to exaggerate things to the next level because this is not real life. This is a work of fiction. And if you can't understand how this 9-year-old is about to use a mechanical pencil, of course, like, listen, I think that there has been cases though, I think that it's absolutely an insane instance of bullying and no regular 9-year-old does it, but this is not a regular 9-year-old kid. And on top of that, it's a work of fiction where its entire purpose is to overly like exaggerate the violence from happening. So like once you understand that this is not a real life documentary, then it's like, I don't understand, like this example that he's using, could it not be applied to literally any of other fucking animes? Like, his entire point so far is, Anime bad because it's not real. Like, like, at least talk about the talking octopus. If you're gonna go with this principle, at least be consistent with it.
Like, get the fuck out of here, dog. That sounds like some Housewives of Atlanta bullshit. Same with Marina's mom giving Marina the Raging Demon special. It felt like they added that shit in there just to make Marina's story more tragic, as if the divorce alone wasn't enough to give a 9-year-old trauma. And the handling of her mom made no sense. The mom is supposedly beating her because she thinks Marina's gonna betray her. It's one of those things the story never really goes into depth with or even gives you a definitive answer to. The mom just keeps saying, I thought you were on my side, without any context given as to what led her to feel this way.
That is embarrassing. This is what I'm saying. Self-report of how he doesn't understand. It's so fucking obvious. So his intelligence is so low that, like, basically, if we are doing show don't tell, if he's not spoon-fed every single dialogue, he doesn't understand. Let me break it down for you because you just don't understand. But it's okay. It's a skill issue on your end, right? It's just a genetic outcome of you just being so fucking dumb. Basically, what's happening here is that the mom is in an abusive relationship where the husband is out cheating with Shizuka's dad. She, though, is like basically a housewife that doesn't have any like dependence on anything else. Basically, she's tied down to this house and can't leave this relationship. And it wears and tears on her, and she's going fucking insane. And she sees Marina, and she tries to make her be on her side. Constantly we're shown, you're on mama's side, right? You're not with daddy, right? And Marina, because she also is getting beat up by mom, because the mom basically has no one else to lash out. Just like how Marina lashes out at Shizuka, even though Shizuka did nothing wrong, the mom also is violent towards Marina because the mom can't be violent to dad, right? Basically, there's this thing where people will hurt others because it is more like possible that way. Like, Marina can't attack the mom, and the mom can't attack the dad. Therefore, we have this like directional like violence happening, which is so unfair. And because of that, the mom feels so betrayed when, and this right now, Marina right now, right? Later on, Marina dies, and then Takopi takes over. And when Takopi has no understanding of the home situation and behaves in a way where she basically is more pro-dad, the mom feels betrayed and then lashes out at Marina saying, I can't believe you fucking do this. I thought you're on my side, right? And this is very obvious. It literally shows you, but like, again, another example where little Triggy Somali embarrasses himself because he doesn't understand the story, jumps to conclusions which he is ignorant about. And it's so frustrating because he speaks so confidently about this as if he's the subject topic expert, yet he has no understanding of it. It is the embodiment of the Dunning-Kruger syndrome, where people who have a very shallow understanding of something will talk like they're experts and criticize things without even understanding. They have no clue about what they're talking about.
Marina's story more tragic, as if the divorce alone wasn't enough to give a 9-year-old trauma. And the handling of her mom made no sense. The mom is supposedly beating her.
It made a lot of sense if you again just listen to what I said.
Because she thinks Marina's going to betray her. It's one of those things the story never really goes into depth with, or even
like, did he really think that the mom was just a chill woman? Like, I'm confused. So he sees that the dad is cheating and like the household family situation is all fucked up, and he thinks like the mom is like a mentally sane, normal person.
Gives you a definitive answer to. The mom just keeps saying, I thought you were on my side, without any context given as to what led
There's a lot of context given. You just don't understand the context because this is a skill issue.
her to feel this way. Did Marina ever say she wanted to stay with her dad when the divorce was finalized? Did Marina and her mom have an agreement that she was going to stay with her post-divorce, and Marina still chose to go? Basically,
before Marina died, Marina was more pro-mom's side because the mom violently abused her and she felt like she couldn't do anything about it. And that was the one thing that mom basically had. And the moment that Marina dies and Takopi takes over and starts acting in a way that is not the same as before, because obviously Takopi has no clue and is like, oh, I want to go live with daddy too, sure, why not? Mom feels betrayed and crashes out. And later on, there's even a scene where it's kind of ambiguous where she says, where's my daughter? You're not Marina, where is my daughter, right? There's a clear moment of that because the sense of self has changed entirely, and the mom feels even more broken inside because the one thing that she thought that she could hold on to in a very abusive way in this family home is now gone. That is the entire point.
Live with her father? None of this shit is ever stated or explained. One might just assume, oh, well, she's just taking her frustrations from the divorce out on her daughter, but that's never stated in the story either.
Because like when you see that there's like a fire, the narrator doesn't have to say the fire is hot. this is a textbook example of little Triggy Somalia again embarrassing himself due to his lack of media comprehension and basically just not understanding anything. It's actually a skill issue. He needs to be spoon-fed these, and it's not even like it takes a big brain to understand this, right? I think that this isn't, I obviously this is a show don't tell situation, but it's not even that hard to understand. It's such a simple premise to understand. The narrator doesn't need to fucking explain everything, explain the background, because the show has already done it. And because the show, again, masterfully shows you what is happening in these households without them having to spoon feed, it respects the audience. The anime respects the audience so much and is able to do storytelling this way. That's why it's masterful, again, execution of these themes, which is so ironic. Isn't it ironic that like he's complaining about the show's lack of execution because he doesn't understand that this is not supposed to be a real life documentary. It's a fucking anime, a work of fiction. And then the one point where he misunderstands everything is the exact point where the show excels at executing these themes by show don't tell, just amazing expert level cinematography. Again, there's a reason why before we started this video, I did that entire intro sequence to make you understand the type of person this is. Don't take him seriously.
The bitch just keeps saying, I thought you were on my side. And I know in the other timeline she was on medication, but what type of medication? For what exactly? Like there's literally a scene where Marina's date couldn't come to dinner and the mom came from being a polite housewife to fucking Mike Tyson in 5 seconds. So is the meds calming the mom down or is she fucking crazy regardless if—
He doesn't get that either, huh? So basically, the mom is pretty much bipolar, right? She is in a very mentally unstable situation where she wants to be good, but she crashes out a lot because of the family whole situation. This is the example where Marina basically is about to bring Asuma home. And Marina at that point is like basically the household. If you've never been, I guess he doesn't understand these type of situations, maybe because he's never experienced it or hasn't seen other examples of household abuse like this. But basically in situations like this, what happens is it's like night and day, straight up. Sometimes it's going really well, and then all of a sudden, boom, the exact opposite happens just like that because they're mentally unstable. This situation is where Marina's about to bring her boyfriend over, or quote unquote boyfriend, because Asuma's not the boyfriend, but you know, something is happening, right, in the future. And the mom is so happy. The mom is so happy that, oh, thank fucking God, something good is happening. And then the moment that Marina basically gets her man stolen because Shizuka was planning the revenge, the mom is reminded of her own personal life, of her own husband basically betraying her. And rather than empathizing with her daughter, because they're both victims in the same situation, she is such a self-hating person. She sees herself in her daughter and how her daughter basically lost her mans. And rather than being upset and frustrated at the mans, she chooses to attack the one thing in front. Again, the same example of why Marina beats on Shizuka, why the mom beats on Marina, because they're easy victims right there in the proximity. That is the entire purpose of why there is such a drastic emotional shift between why the mom is happy here and why the mom crashes out. This isn't because she's a normal person at this moment. No. This is a textbook example of hurt people crashing out because they're borderline bipolar. But again, like, it's so, again, like, maybe this is a hard thing to understand for some people. Maybe I shouldn't, you know, expect like my level of standard of comprehension, but I'm not even saying I'm a smart person. I feel like if you genuinely gave a fuck to understand the show, these are very simple things that you can pick up on. But the fact that he doesn't understand this, again, truly shows he has absolutely no credibility in even giving this show a rating. He should just stick to fucking Unga Boonga Slayer and My Caveman Academia because this is out of his league.
Housewife to fucking Mike Tyson in 5 seconds. So is the meds calming the mom down or is she fucking crazy regardless if she takes the meds? None of this shit is explained or delved into.
It is shown. Again, the skill issue. It's so embarrassing every time he says, I don't get it. They didn't tell me it. It's so bad. And we're here like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, there's no way you're this stupid.
Another goofy moment in the show where one of the kid's parents is treating him like shit and blueballing him with pancakes, all because he can't get a 100 on his test. Keep in mind, this kid Naki is getting 93s and 95s on his test. You're telling me the decision to either mistreat your kid or treat him well all depends on whether he can score an extra 5 to 7 points on the test?
Yes, because this again is so this is a very interesting situation. I love how they delved into 3 separate family houses and how broken they are, right? Shizuka's family, we already know about that. Marina's family, we just talked about that regarding, you know, the dad cheating and the mom feeling hopeless and stuck in a marriage, and the daughter is the only one that she can lash out at. And now Azuma's family, right? Azuma's family basically is the most textbook example of the elite tiger mom in an Asian family household. 95 isn't good enough. It needs to be perfection or nothing. Why? Because this is an elite family of doctors. In the world of medicine, 95% is not good enough. In order for their reputations to be made, because she's like this elite doctor that owns a hospital and there's a lot of clout behind it, you need to pursue perfection no matter what. And it gets really toxic. In any other situation, 95 is good enough. But in this way, the standard the mom poses onto the son, it's so toxic, it's so fucked up. And she constantly uses her big brother, right, as like a comparison tool, which is so messed up because the big bro genuinely cares about the little bro, but the little bro feels isolated and is in direct competition with big bro because he constantly lives in the shadows, and the pancake is used as imagery, as symbolism, as a tool of reward structure. This is like classical conditioning where you basically make this kid a dependent and then take away or reward. It's like the carrot and the stick just magnified to like 10x. It's a very fucked up situation, but it's a very real situation too that exists a lot of the times in immigrant family households.
Get the fuck out of here with this over-exaggerated bullshit. Like, I understand that different households can be very strict about grades, but
again, over-exaggeration is not a problem in a work of fiction. The point is to over-exaggerate to send you a message that is often hard to do when given a realistic live documentary, because that's the point of fiction.
Does that take away the fact that it can be exaggerated at times? I think everybody understands that perfection is an unrealistic standard. So why is treating your kid like shit because he can't get an extra 5 to 7 points on the test?
Because this is an elite family of doctors, and even though it's really messed up, there is a part of me that understands why she pursues this perfection in such a toxic way. But I don't expect this this animal to like actually understand the show, because so far we have seen that he does not understand anything about this show. He has a very surface level understanding. I'm pretty sure he watched the shit at 2x speed. Constantly he contradicts himself and proves to us that he didn't understand a single thing, so I don't blame him for not understanding Azuma stuff too.
Acceptable. Am I wrong for thinking that's an exaggeration? Even on a realistic term.
You're not wrong for thinking an exaggeration, but you're wrong for thinking that an exaggeration is a fault, because that is the entire purpose of this medium we call anime.
There's a contradiction in that belief if you subscribe to the fact that everyone can be perfect. So at the bare minimum, neglecting your child because they get A's instead of A pluses can be seen as an exaggeration. And I understand that Naki's older brother Junior tells him exactly what I'm saying right now, but keep in mind, I'm not criticizing the message. I'm criticizing the execution and how exaggerated the circumstances can be. Aside from the handle.
Yeah, but you don't care about the talking octopus, huh? I love how like the core complaint is the exaggeration and therefore bad execution, when he doesn't even understand what execution means. He doesn't even understand the purpose of storytelling in a fictional story of anime like this. Or again, it does such a masterful job in doing show don't tell. Bro doesn't understand if it's not spoon-fed to him because he has the IQ of a goldfish, and then he basically blames the show, right? Constantly there's times, it happens for ReZero too, which is funny because this drama all happened with ReZero. Basically, people are skill issued and don't understand a point of the story, then gets mad because they themselves lack the comprehension. And it's so embarrassing because it's basically like a self-report that like, I don't get it. It's not told to me.
Of Naki's goofy ass mom, I do think his story was handled really well. His story showed how hard it is to live up to expectations, how trauma and the desire to be accepted can affect future judgment, how being manipulated by the people you love can lead to terrible decisions, and how breaking the tension with a family member can create a powerful and trusting bond. The same with Takopi. His story was handled well for the most part.
Nah, this is a bullshit fucking character. This is a fucking talking octopus with time travel. It's so exaggerated it breaks my immersion. I can't take the show seriously anymore because there's a talking octopus. What the hell is up with this, bro? Like, I can't. This is a 5 out of 10 anime. Why is there a talking octopus? This is so bad. Did they ever explain why there's a talking octopus? I don't get it. I hate this show now.
His story was basically about understanding the complexity of human nature, how everyone possesses both good and bad within them, and how what you see as a solution can become the source of someone else's corruption. It was really cool to see.
I can't believe this anime is fake exactly. I can't believe it, bro. How could they do this to me?
Takopi slowly turning Shizuka into a monster with the inventions he used to make her happy, and him bearing the burden of his mistakes. My only issue with Takopi's story was that convenient-ass plot twist. The plot twist was foreshadowed when Takopi questioned why he couldn't go back to Planet Happy, but it still felt more like a convenient solution to an unsolvable problem, rather than a development that flowed organically with the story. The reveal only happened after Takopi and Shizuka hit a dead end in Tokyo, which further supports my impression. The execution was so bad that I wouldn't blame anyone if they felt like the plot twist was a retcon. And since I'm shitting on
A lot of people do complain about this part though, of how things get solved very fast and efficiently through the memories coming back when time travel. This is the one part where I do partially agree with it feeling like a bullshit solution. And it is a core issue in a lot of stories where conclusive stories, like the shows often don't know how to conclude itself in a good way, right? And it's really hard to do. I did appreciate how they basically mindfucked us with the combination of time travel and memory loss. And I think I made this comments too, where Attack on Titan did that shit too, right? And to a degree, Steins Gate, where if you combine the elements of time travel and either memory loss or memories unlocked, that's locked away, and it slowly comes back later on, it blows your mind. It genuinely, it comes out of fucking left field of like, what the hell? So that's kind of entertaining in that way, but I totally get like why people would think this is a bullshit answer and how it ended like that.
Plot twist, I might as well shit on the ending that stems from it. The ending was really fucking bad. Takopi literally solved Shizuka and Marina's problems by using the power of magic instead of having them learn and build from their problems like Takopi and Naki. And even when Takopi fixed their issues,
he did solve it through magic in the way that he basically, how did the ending get resolved, right? The ending doesn't get resolved with Takopi waving a magic wand and suddenly Shizuka and Marina are friends. But the whole point of the ending is that Shizuka and Marina both bond over something they share. Their memories of Takopi. And because of that, suddenly they're empathizing. And there's also like these memories. This is a bit ambiguous, but there's like some sort of lingering memories that they, even though basically the timeline came back, there's some lingering memories of, oh, I remember him too. And because of that, they start to bond together. And that's how they resolve stuff. The theme of this is that no matter how much you're enemies, if you actually communicate and talk it out, and if there is something in common that you have, then suddenly a beautiful friendship can happen. That is the point of it. This isn't him just waving a magic wand and suddenly I'm happy friends now.
With the power of magic, it still left a huge plot hole.
And this is also an interesting part too, where Marina still has a fucked up scar in the face, right? Because that scar is from mom. Meaning nothing really was resolved on the parents' side, because the parents' side is not supposed to be resolved, right? The whole point of the show is that kids are able to be monsters. There's potential for good and bad, and it's all about how there's role models. And and even though, right, they have no role models and there's no parents at the end, right, that's there for them, they have each other. And through their common bond of Takopi's memories, through that quote-unquote bullshit, answer, they're able to basically survive and have a good ending, quote unquote good. Still gets fucked up at home, but it is what it is.
Shizuka and Marina's friendship, because the story completely ignores why Marina was upset with Shizuka in the first place.
The story conveniently... No, it doesn't. Let's play this out.
In Shizuka and Marina's friendship, because the story completely ignores why Marina was upset with Shizuka in the first place and makes them the bestest friends in the world, all because they seen a picture of Takopi.
No, again, such a disingenuous, exaggeration of what happened. Marina still hates Shizuka back then. She was about to fuck her up. Then again, they see the picture. And because of Takopi's magic, their memories, right? Their shared memories and their bonds over this fucking octopus, they're like, whoa, you know that too. And because of that, they're able to, again, get past the bullying. Like, Marina still hates what Shizuka was all about because of that. But then, this is the thing. Once you start to empathize and there's something in common, suddenly Marina doesn't see Shizuka as like just like a one-sided like what's it called, a person to fuck up. She's able to like see her as a fellow human being, right? That's the entire point. This isn't just, oh, I saw a picture, therefore everything is good now. Again, if you don't understand this is again your lack of like media comprehension and the whole show don't tell aspect of this that he lacks.
Like, what the fuck? How does seeing the picture of Takopi change the core reason why you're upset with Shizuka? How the fuck is seeing the picture of Takopi enough to squash the beef between Shizuka and Marina when Marina beat the shit out of Shizuka for trying to squash the beef? And I know that was Takopi cloning Shizuka, but...
Again, right? we've seen time after time. This is like, I've lost track of how many times he doesn't understand the story, so you shouldn't be surprised at this point.
My point still stands because Marina thought it was Shizuka. All in all, it's like what I stated earlier. Takopi's Original Sin is a show with a lot of good messages. It's just that the execution is so bad that it takes away the impact of the message.
No, it's got a lot of good messages, but in order for you to understand the messages, you need to have a level of media comprehension that goes beyond the Unga Boonga fucking Slayers and the My Caveman Academia, where everything is spoon-fed to you. This is a classic masterpiece of an anime in which it is able to deliver these core themes through direction, cinematography, show don't tell, to elevate a manga medium and to augment that and to show you how these themes are presented. And it is actually a skill issue that you don't understand this and how you're crashing out over how this is bad. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece. There's definitely faults with it. But these faults do not make a show a 6 out of 10. This is easily in the realm of the 9s. And if you don't think that it is, like, the fact that you would give this score anything less than an 8 is such a disingenuous take that either, again, you're too stupid to understand or you're just grifting and farming the negative engagements.
They're trying to send. There's also other issues with the story, specifically with Takopi's happy tools and how ridiculously convenient they are. There's a moment where after Takopi sees Shizuka's dead body, he says there isn't a happy tool that can bring back the dead, only for him to get his camera and go back in time to revive Shizuka. There's also the happy clock that can revive people by just going back in time.
Go back?
Takopi sees Shizuka's dead body, he says there isn't a happy tool that can bring back the dead.
Well, yeah, you can't bring back the dead, but you can go back in time. That's just... What? Yeah, because time travel, not resurrection. These are two separate things. It's... Anyways.
Only for him to get his camera and go back in time to revive Shizuka. There's also the happy clock that can revive people by just going back in time. So there are happy tools that can revive people.
It's not really reviving. It's just going back in time. And the camera can do it and the happy clock can do it. This is not a plot hole. What are you talking about?
Also, him pressing that button.
That's just a distinction of, hey, I can't revive the dead, but there's other solutions. Again, you shouldn't be surprised at this point.
His camera and going back in time to give everybody a happy life at the expense of his life was a complete ass pull and cop out for yet another situation where the plot was at a dead end. I can keep going on.
Again, that part again, the way that Takopi kind of conveniently solves everything, people think that's a rushed ending. And I do agree that, like, it is not a perfect ending, but there is no perfect ending in a lot of shows. I just appreciate the show for what it did up to that point, and the final conclusion, I take it with a grain of salt of, yeah, sure, why not? Doesn't mean it's, you know, full of fault, but it doesn't mean it's perfect either. And I still think that the way that it handled everything in 6 episodes, a lot of people say that, like, it got rushed. I personally think that 6 episodes was perfect in delivering concise storytelling. It was so impactful than stretching out for 24 episodes.
Many issues I have with the series, such as the poor handling of stakes and consequences, but I don't want to make this video unnecessarily long. To sum it up quickly, the happy tools are the reason why the stakes and consequences suck so fucking hard in the show. And you should know why, since I literally told you why I hated the ending, the plot twist, and the happy tools. Overall, Takopi's Original Sin was a cool watch, but far from a masterpiece that people are claiming it to be.
I still think it is a masterpiece, and the faults that you claim in this video are you misunderstanding the show. The only faults that I can agree with is the convenient solution at the end, and this should not dock the anime anywhere below an 8 out of 10.
If you're an overly sensitive person who pisses in their bed and sleeps with a nightlight, then you're definitely going to think this show is a masterpiece because you're only going to care about the message and not how it's given to you.
Again, it's so funny when this guy says, like, you don't understand when he's the one that doesn't understand. And you know he's gonna cry and have a group therapy session throughout the next month, bro. Because, and again, he begged for this. He begged for this to happen, and I try to give it the most authentic, genuine reaction to his takes. But hey, man, he's gonna get triggered and he's gonna shit his pants, man. He's gonna piss his bed with the night lights on.
Then you're definitely going to think this show is a masterpiece because you're only going to care about the message and not how it's given to you. But if you truly care about execution, then you should be able to understand.
You don't even know what execution means, bro. It's just so, like, the audacity for this guy to talk about the execution of this anime when he doesn't even understand the core fucking themes being presented through show don't tell. It's so funny to me.
And why I thought the execution was goofy, unrealistic, and overdramatic. If I had to give this show a score, I would give it a 6 out of 10. But if you guys
6 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen,
enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'll appreciate it greatly. It's your boy Trigger Senpai,
and that's another little Trigger Somali misunderstanding everything, embarrassing himself in public because he has the IQ of a zoo animal. But why are we surprised? There's a reason again that I gave you the introduction scene. Listen, I'm not sitting here saying Takopi's Original Sin is a perfect anime. I think perfection doesn't exist because we are human beings and we are flawed creatures. And because we're flawed creatures, humans can never create perfection. That is an impossible standard that only exists as a barometric to compare it to. I think with the flaws that I admitted through the way that it ended, the lowest I would give is like an 8 out of 10, but that's way too low. I think that it is easily within the realm of the 9s, despite the flaws that it has. And to think that this is a 6 out of 10 because you didn't understand like actually the point of the story. Like how many times did he completely embarrass himself with the misunderstanding of Asuna's family hold, Marina's family hold, and Shizuka's too? This notion that like, oh, exaggeration means bad. Like this is a work of fiction. The whole point of the anime is to take real life themes and exaggerate it to so far. Not every anime does this, but anime absolutely does this, where they exaggerate the themes to send a message that is way more impactful than a real life documentary. But again, there's no point taking this guy seriously. He is a very disingenuous, unintelligent, racist rage baiter whose only purpose is to basically farm the negative engagements because he has no personality, no charisma, no ability to make independent content other than just writing the hate of things that is popular over and over again. Disliked. I didn't like that Triggy. Try harder. Here's a link to the video. Go. I don't fucking know. Do whatever you want. Go help the struggling content creator, man. Maybe with your help he can grow beyond this, but I think that he's very limited in the way that he presents himself.